Twiggy, explain to the viewers exactly what could happen to our top 2 seeds.
Well, this is a really important game now. Obviously, as we all know, the top 2 seeds get complete advancement straight to the upper bracket final, which guarantees you top 3 in the league overall, no matter what happens in the playoffs. And HOMYNOTSUN, they do have a route into the top 2. It's a very difficult route. It is 4-0ing alternate attacks. If they do so, then their map differential completely equalizes and they win the head-to-head. So they just get through by a head-to-head. That would be unreal if they managed to do that.
Yep.
Has anybody 4-0'd alternate attacks yet? I don't think so. So that would, yeah.
I don't think so. But also, so alternate attacks, as long as they win one map at any point, they're fine. Safe in the top 2. If they win the match, they do get top seed, because then they would be ahead of Sprout in game difference, because Sprout had a lot of dicey matches throughout the middle of the competition. Alternate attacks have looked very, very clean at times indeed. It's also then worth noting that for HOMYNOTSUN, if they do lose this match, if they lose it badly enough, they are at potential risk of dropping below Orcs GP Nualaoch after the final match of the night as well. So even if they're in a losing position, even if they are no longer in a position to win overall, even if they're not in a position to take the top seed, it is in HOMYNOTSUN's best interest to try and win as many maps as possible for better seeding going into those playoffs.
Yeah, getting a couple maps would be good. Getting a 4-0 would be absolutely brilliant. That is the goal to reach for, but that is going to be very difficult against alternate attacks. This is a strong, strong team. Obviously, they only have one loss, just like everybody else, towards the top of the table. Yeah, like, the likelihood is very low, but it would be absolutely amazing if we saw HOMYNOTSUN do that. And look, the way they performed against Sprout, it's not an impossibility whatsoever. No.
Oh, gyroscope.
That's a shame. It's okay. We'll probably. I hope we see it next match. Like, last match technically doesn't mean anything. So hopefully, unless
HOMYNOTSUN don't manage to pick up like 2 maps here, in which case, maybe
look. Possible. Yeah, hopefully, we just want HOMYNOTSUN at the very least to win 2 maps here, so that the last game is completely meaningless and we get gyroscope.
Because teams want to set Challenger League records. Yeah, that'd be absolutely perfect. We are going to see a particularly straightforward first 4 maps, although freestyle was banned, which is an interesting ban over on the other side. No aero pipes reps will be in map 7 if we go all the way there on that one, but we'll be kicking things off back and forth and slow down.
Very cool. Alright, well, the first map is going to mean obviously every map means everything, but as soon as, HOMYNOTSUN win a map, then we're going to be on our tippy toes for this one. The energy is going to have to go straight back up from where we left it after that 4-0 against Easy Dream from last series. I mean, look, hey, this could be an incredibly exciting match, because every time HOMYNOTSUN win a map, if they win the first one, then it's going to keep getting more and more intense as we move forward. Their main goal, just to get two maps, but overall, it would be incredibly important if they got all 4.
Yeah, would be an absolutely huge result and would be a big kind of swing, given how good alternate attacks, as you've said, have looked. I mean, Scandir, he is the most consistent player out of the 32 players in the Challenger League and Grand League combined. He doesn't necessarily match the pace at the top of the Grand League an awful lot of the time. He doesn't necessarily match the pace at the top of the Challenger League sometimes. But he's near to it. And in terms of the consistency, there is genuinely nobody else who can touch him. And that's scary when you're like, yeah, we need to 4-0 a team.
Yeah, his top times at the moment aren't, record holding, but his average times are at the top of the Challenger League right now, generally, because when he does get to the finish line unscathed, he is very quick, and that is, the tiebreaker a lot of the time in rounds. And as we can see here, he's already gained maybe not a significant lead, but a lead of about a 10th.
Yep. And he does get to that finish line much more often than anyone else as well, without things going very, very poorly for him. So, we'll see how that goes for Scandir over the course of Woside as well. No slouch either. Has looked good. And there is a mistake. I mean, that is the clearest case of a caster curse that we've seen in weeks.
Yeah, I mean, look, the storyline is HOMYNOTSUN need to ace the whole series. So, look, just let them have some hope for the start. It's fine. Look, alternate attacks fans, I get it. Bad. Scandir crashed, but also, it's more exciting if HOMYNOTSUN managed to take this one away. So it looks like they may just start things off with an ace. No, that's a much better line from Woside. He takes airtime and loses out by only 8,000. That is, I've never seen airtime make the difference on back and forth.
That's insane. That's so close. Enner looked like he'd thrown it with a very wide line through the last turn, and that is exactly the start that we need, I think, to make us sit in like chairs, Twiggy, and re-energize after the last series. 8 thousandths to separate the ace out.
8,000 from airtime, not a crash at the finish line, nothing like that we usually see. Airtime. Oh my, okay, wow. That's one way to do things. The scriptwriters are back in full force, I feel like. Off of that, there's no way you write that and think it's realistic. I'm sorry. But Scandir this time has made it through unscathed to the second half of the map. Feed with more speed than Wosai will overtake and move into second position. Enna, however, has moved down by 8 tenths on this one. Feed with a much wider line. Scandir is going to have so much more speed moving into this one, as well as Wosai. It's whether they can manage it through this identity. Feed getting very nice lines, however, does catch straight back up. Can Scandir maintain that lead? Feed again with a little bit of a better line. Oh, and airtime again for Wosal. Almost lets Enna catch back up, but not quite. This time around, it's not going to be the same heartbreak. HOMYNOTSUN maintain their lead, but it moves down to 2 points.
Yep, a quick round there from Scandir, and that is something that, you know, is worth calling out as well, is that HOMYNOTSUN, you don't get many chances to get alternate attacks to take advantage of Scandir mistakes. You'll get a slightly better one here, as they have made errors in that first turn, but you need to take advantage of every single one, and Enner pinballing around every wall out of the water is not going to be the way to do that.
It's not helpful whatsoever. Feed. He's playing wingman here and has moved into first position. Can he maintain it? That's the question. Wosal very close to the edge there. Doesn't quite spin out on that one. But Feed maintains his position. He's going to need to pull out something very nice here, moving towards the identity to stay in first. But that's a brilliant entry from Scandir. It moves him straight back up. Feed, well, not his tail lights, but his bumper at the very least. Scandir takes a wider line. Feed maintains his lead, extends his lead. His line through the end is usually brilliant, so he does keep that first place, and he forces a draw, perfectly timed, and alternate attacks move no closer to HOMYNOTSUN.
Nope, they will remain exactly equidistant at the moment, and that is credit to Feed for managing to hold on, but that's a round that I started by talking about how you need to take advantage of every opportunity against alternate attacks, because it's rare that they give you an opening by being less than kind of perfect through the course. And that was one of those cases. This may be another case. Scandir is a little bit slower than Feed through that first turn, but catches right back up as he does have a better exit, compromising the entrance for the exit, and Scandir is straight back into it.
Yeah, it's going to be another, close around, and it has a slightly slower entry to the turn, but keeps it clean all the way throughout, and Scandir has moved down into fourth position, but we're still 2.5 tenths between every single driver here as we move forward. Enna, not quite the best exit from that turn that you would want. He falls a little further back, but still Feed is in first place, still making up for Enna's, lack of speed in this round at the very least. Now, can he stay ahead once again of the alternate attacks players who are right on him? Wosal trying to overtake here. Scandir a little further back. Feed stays ahead. He has more speed, and he can. Oh, there goes Wosal. Enna may not just be able to catch up, and it is a round win for HOMYNOTSUN. They move 1 point further away. This is looking very nice for them.
It is great. Feed looking very strong through that identity, and Wosal just trying to catch back up, puts himself under a little bit too much pressure, and sends it into a pole at the back. It really all went back to literally the first turn of the identity, where Feed manages to set up with a little bit of a wider line and carried that all the way through. With that said, Feed going to be slightly out of the running this time around. It's Wosal and Scandir versus Enna up front.
Yeah. It's now Enna's turn to take the weight of his teammate onto his shoulders, although only half a second down. It's not the end of the world. We've seen, turns that have lost you that amount of time. But Wosal and Scandir, for the time being, they stay in first and second place. Wosal with a little less speed out of the ice turn, and Enna catches up just a little, but he clips the edge of the checkpoint and through moves Feed into third place, but that hampers their chances of getting into the top 2 quite significantly. It's going to have to be a mistake from alternate attacks or a terrible final turn to make sure that they don't get through on that one, but it's a mistake from Feed instead, and now it's Enna who has to catch up, and it's an ace from alternate attacks. 57.8 is a very good time as well.
That's tough. You could see that mistake from Feed. It wasn't actually in the corner where he crashed. There was a hesitation. He had to readjust halfway through it about 2 turns earlier.
No, all good. I thought for a second that I knew 57.8 was the Challenger League record, but it's 57.84.
It was getting close. Yeah, did we not? Have we not set
wait,
another record at this point?
Was it overtaken? Look, we don't have
feel
updated.
like
we don't have to update the graphics for that, so we're just trying to remember what happened in the past.
I'm sure someone in chat knows. Someone will tell us exactly what the current Challenger League record is at some point. But in the meantime, hey, it is an ace for alternate attacks. It came off the back of Feed, looking shakier through the identity than he had for basically any of the rounds previously, and that does mean that alternate attacks are right back into the swing of things, and Ace pushing them all the way up to this tied 7. Both teams on track point with a nice turn from Feed, managing to hold him just behind Scandir at the moment. Yeah,
a little more speed than Scandir, but it's all going to be equalized right out here depending on the angle that you enter that booster with. Now, it's going to be neck and neck all the way through to the end. Wosal has to slow down a little bit to stop him from going over the edge, and Enna overtakes. Now it's going to be incredibly close. Feed and Scandir. Feed has a better line. Will he stay out ahead? He just about does it. 31 thousandths, and Enna takes 3rd place as well. HOMYNOTSUN move to 9 points. All they need now is a draw.
That is going to be good enough for HOMYNOTSUN, picking up another win just there, and they're managing to just match alternate attacks blow for blow at the moment. Which, hey, I think we can respect HOMYNOTSUN. They've given us some of the best matches of Challenger League so far. They were unlucky enough to close things out against Sprout yesterday as well. We'd be talking about a very, very different look for this matchup if that match had gone HOMYNOTSUN's way. As it is, they have it all to do. It starts with a map win in round 1.
Yeah, well, once again, alternate attacks looking to fire back on this one. They need a round win to equalize things at 10-all. They need an ace to take away the map from HOMYNOTSUN. HOMYNOTSUN only need to put a player, well, 1st and 4th, or well, you know, 2nd and 3rd. But hey, the way the pack is grouped at this point, either of those is very possible. Scandir, however, out ahead. Although more speed for Feed and Enna, they're overtaking. They may just get that 2nd and 3rd. I didn't think it was possible at this point, but oh no, Enna with a slightly wider turn. Oh no!
That was close.
Oh my god, I thought Wosal wasn't making it. We moved to overtime.
For the first time, I believe, in our Super Week as well, we're going to get an overtime. It's between HOMYNOTSUN and alternate attacks. First time in a little while that we're getting an overtime. HOMYNOTSUN, they need to win this map. Alternate attacks, as soon as they pick up a single win, they can sit back, they are comfortable, they will be secured in the top 2. This round is just so important for the entire competition as Feed. There's a little bit of an illegal wall bang, but we'll let him away from it. It's okay. It's alright.
Wosal is now in 1st place. It's all to play for now. Every single position is to play for. Wosal takes 1st place. Feed with another better exit does overtake Scandir, but in this position alternate attacks win out the map. Any kind of round win is perfect for either team here, and with Wosal in 1st place that guarantees the round win unless something terrible happens to Scandir. For alternate attacks, Feed has more speed, he has a much better inside line. Enna overtakes Scandir as well. It may just be the round win for HOMYNOTSUN out of absolutely nowhere. It looks like it is. HOMYNOTSUN take the map 12-11.
Let's go! The top 2 dreams are alive for HOMYNOTSUN over alternate attacks, and it is off the back of an incredible identity from both players. One of them would not have been good enough. It would have been good enough to turn it into a draw, and they would have had to go again. But both of them do it. Both of them are just quicker than their opposite numbers, and they go 1-3. They bring us to map 2 in a lead, Twiggy.
That is clutch potential if I've ever seen it. The identities from Feed and Enna were so good. There were a couple times that they fell off, but apart from that, they were gaining time so much, so consistently over their opponents there. It took alternate attacks by surprise, I think. Oh my god. I mean, there is no better way to win out that map than that. That is spectacular.
Yeah, and hey, we're back to slowdown. HOMYNOTSUN, they looked very, very good here yesterday against Sprout. This was, well, looking pretty strong for them. It wasn't quite, you know, world record times or anything.
Record, yeah.
But it did used to be Feed's record. And so they'll be looking to recapture that one, recapture the magic, and keep those top 2 dreams alive a little while longer. And with Feed dropping back, it's not great. It's not the ideal, but it's only round 1. There's still plenty of time, and it could still be a draw as Enner contests Wosal and Scandir.
Feed previously overtook Pack for the world record in Playday 5. Pack took it back in Playday 7 of the Grand League, and then we saw it overtaken once again by Ratchet. But now, here we are, and Feed, I mean, discounting this round, generally is very fast on this map. We will see if he can manage to keep that one up. This time it's going to be Enner's job to keep his team in the running for this. Alternate Attacks, however, though, are also very quick on this one and very consistent throughout the identity. I say that now. We will see if they manage to keep it through. It's more speed for Alternate Attacks. Wosal can't quite overtake Enner. Enner gets through by 39 thousandths, and it's a draw to start things off. And it says, I got you, Feed. I got you, buddy.
And a 56.699 necessary to win the round, but I'll say it, I think you're going to want to be hitting to hit those 56.6s a lot in this particular match if you do want to continue to pick up wins there. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough indeed, especially against an Alternate Attacks, and I want you to just mark how impressive this is. It gets played in every match. Of course it does. Yep. It's Slowdown. Alternate Attacks have never lost on this map. 6 weeks, 6 wins.
Yeah, indeed. I think they couldn't be coming up against a worse team here on this map, though. Despite the fact that other teams have had better times, you know, overall. Feed once had a world record here, and they're generally very consistent on here too. And Alternate Attacks, yeah, they're gonna struggle to. I mean, they're gonna struggle throughout the whole series. That's not mince words here. The Alternate Attacks, they're coming up against very formidable opponents, despite the fact that Scandir is an insane clutch master. You know, they're coming up against very two competent players. Enner is trailing at the moment, but Feed is well out ahead. Enner tries to overtake, but he has to slow down on that last bump. Feed with a 56.6 flat is absolutely amazing. Feed this time, he's got Enner.
Yeah, and Scandir and Wosal are hand in hand to that second place as well. Less than half a tenth between the two drivers from Alternate Attacks. And it remains tight. I mean, HOMYNOTSUN, they're looking to take an edge. It'd be great for the storyline if they were the first team to get out ahead here on this map as well. Alternate Attacks again. They just need one map. That is all they are looking for.
Yeah. You know, earlier we were saying, oh, you need a 56.8 to come first. And then we said, oh, you need a 56.7 to come first. Well, so far, both rounds have been a 56.6 to win out the round. So, I mean, the bar may have been raised just a little bit. Oh my lord. Wosal comes in from nowhere. He's going to get a wider exit and a little less speed, but he overtakes Feed still. Scandir, however, is in first place. It looks like we're just swapping back and forth the instrumental players on each of these rounds. Scandir enters the identity first, but Wosal takes a little flight. He's going to move straight down into fourth position, and Enner is looking to capitalize as well and overtake Scandir. He does indeed have more speed through to the end. He wins it by 29 thousandths. Feed comes in third, and it's a round win for HOMYNOTSUN when they most need it once again.
That's such a close round, but Enner has been so clutch. I think Feed, a lot of the time, is the player we talk about the most from this HOMYNOTSUN roster, just because he puts up very, very good times. But Enner absolutely clutching up so far tonight.
My lord, really turned up today, especially on this map. He's put together, well, that was a 56.9, but it was still an insane snipe there at the end. And, my lord, it's really gonna... This is a battle of titans, really, especially on slowdown. It's really a battle of titans. We're not going to see many mistakes. We're going to see everybody grouped like this together. I'm not surprised if we see several more snipes coming through from this one, because every player is competent on this map.
Yeah, they are. And at the moment, they are all still very, very close together as we head back to the identity, as we head back to the trees, where Enner is the only player at the moment, I think, still taking that line through the trees, having to set up. You see much wider there, and his teammate Feed does slow down, but it's just the players from HOMYNOTSUN swapping places, first to fourth, fourth to first, but sniped out at the end. Scandir will take the win. Enner not able to hold on, and we are back to a tie game.
Wasn't the worst jump we've ever seen either, but it's enough when everybody is within a tenth of each other to completely ruin your chances of getting into the top three there. It's another great round.
Yeah, you also just have to mark, Twiggy, how impressive it would have been if Enner and Feed swapped places from first to fourth and fourth to first, and the round still ended up a draw. But like just Enner coming from fourth to first to win the round, like it would have been crazy. It would have been crazy in that one. To not let Alternate Attacks through.
I don't know what the bar is for crazy anymore after what we've seen in the Super Week so far.
But like swapping one player from fourth to first and the other one going first to fourth, and the other team doesn't get any players past the guy who's now in first. That's just weird, you know. It's just
well, Scandir, speaking of weird, has made a significant error towards the start of the map. He's dropped back by more than 2 seconds already. Wosile now struggling to keep up with Feed and Enna, both on very good times. Enna, though, he sails into the sky. The pressure is put on him by Wosile, and Wosile is also caught up to Feed. Can he overtake towards the end? It's going to be another very close round. It's 76 thousandths, and this time it is Feed coming in first, and HOMYNOTSUN again with just about a round win.
Not able to punish though, and that's the important thing. Very much that was a chance for them to take an ace and move 3 points clear to keep their opponents a long way away from track point. But now it is HOMYNOTSUN on track point. Their opponents aren't on track point, but this could have been better if Enner had kept it cleaner in that last round. Enner has clutched up so often tonight. They need to clutch up one more time. Feed and Enner, they're both in position to do it on this round.
Indeed they are, and it looks like they want to take this one away right here and right now. And Scandir and Wosile seem a little shell-shocked. It's not like they're playing badly even remotely. The amount of times they have been within half a tenth of everybody, of Feed and Enna is wild. But they still have not gained significant amounts of points compared to HOMYNOTSUN on this one. And this time, Feed and Enna in first and fourth once again, but Feed is on a screamer of a round, and Enna is right behind. Can Enna keep it clean this time? And he gets through the trees unscathed. Yes, very good line as well. Feed and it's going to come down to absolute hundredths. Scandir overtakes, but Feed overtakes again, and it's within 13 hundredths. But it's so close with the top 3. Amazing round, but HOMYNOTSUN again maintain their lead.
That is, I mean, it always comes down to the wire on slowdown, but that is one of the rounds where going over the final hill with like 3 car lengths left, genuinely, I could not have even predicted who was going to win. That's an insane round of slowdown there, and it just means that alternate attacks also move to track point.
Yeah, oh, Scandir, no! Oh, that's a terrible mistake! That is an absolutely massive mistake! As long as one of these 2 finish first and the other one finishes second or third, it's all over on this map, and the dream stays alive for HOMYNOTSUN. Wosile needs to win. The Wosile needs to win this round now. That's such a massive mistake from Scandir that it doesn't matter what happens here. Unless Feed and Enna both make terrible mistakes, Wosile needs to come in first to keep them alive in this one, and he takes a flight, and now it's Feed and Enna who just need to get through to the very end, and it looks so easy for them as they cruise through. Feed, he finishes it off with a 56.8. It's one of the slowest times we've seen today. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's an ace for HOMYNOTSUN. They move to 11 points, they take map 2, and their dream of overtaking alternate attacks is still alive.
It could still happen. It could still happen, Twiggy, but it's still a long way off. They still need to pick up 2 more map wins without letting alternate attacks back into it. And if Scandir starts to settle down, because, I mean, the mistakes are still rare, but they have been more present for Scandir than we've seen an awful lot of the time for alternate attacks. That really is the make or break for alternate attacks as a team. And as we move on to parkour, this is a map that is not one that you want to settle on. If any of them are, I would have said slowdown. It's where you can settle a little bit more. Parkour really encourages the mistakes more than prevents them.
Definitely. More often than not, we're seeing rounds won by mistakes, not by clean driving. We've seen... Actually, you know what? Over the past couple days, we've seen several very good rounds of parkour. But before that, we really hadn't seen any where there was, you know, a significantly small gap between first and third. So we'll see. Can the cone make a difference this time around? I don't think anybody's going to have time to go for a cone on this one. The way this series has been going so far, every player is racing their heart out right now.
Yeah. And of course, worth mentioning as well that, you know, because we talked about Kaki for Scrappy. Scandir, one of the most noted Kaki players, probably been putting some time into that over the last couple of days as well, so we're just going to have to hope that it does not come back to bite alternate attacks here, that they don't get swept by HOMYNOTSUN on the final day of the season to lose top 2.
Fine.
And Enner he's alive and he lost time, so it's probably not illegal, it's just a bad idea.
Yeah, well, he overtakes Scandir off the back of the bobsleigh as well, so... Not a terrible mistake whatsoever, but Feed is putting together another very good round. Wosile right behind, and it drops back into 4th position. Can Feed maintain that lead over Wosile? Can he keep it clean through to the end? Oh, he bumps the pole! He's still going to get through, but alternate attacks are going to overtake, and it's going to be an ace to start things off.
Oh dear, HOMYNOTSUN, you can't afford that. You cannot afford that right now. Giving any kind of momentum back to alternate attacks is going to be lethal to where they finish in the playoffs right now. HOMYNOTSUN are going to try and recover this one, though. I mean, surely they'll be able to get an ace straight back the other direction. Alternate attacks, they're a team known for making multiple mistakes in every round.
Oh yeah, definitely. Both of these teams are known for making massive amounts of mistakes, not making it through to the finish line whatsoever. So I'm sure we'll see a little bit of that coming through. I mean, actually we kind of have. You know what?
Yeah,
Slowdown
honest,
was not clean.
It's true. It has been a surprising day for Scandir in particular, who's going to come out poorly from that corner one more time. And Feed and Enner versus Wosal, the battle up front at the moment. And everyone through the bobsleigh cleanly. At least see how they handle our uphill at the moment. If anyone loses gear on the way through, Enner goes in very deep on the turn and was a little bit risky, but he comes out of it with enough speed. And Wosal holds onto his lead, but can he do it the entire way through the series?
It's going to be difficult. The leader last time, when chased by two members of the opposition team, slammed into a pole, but this time it's Enner again smashing into a pole, and it might just be another round win for alternate attacks because Scandir keeps it clean, and there it is, a round win, bringing them to 5-1.
Oh dear, the clean sweep is in jeopardy at the moment. HOMYNOTSUN dropped 4 points behind alternate attacks in the first 2 rounds. That's going to be very, very difficult for them to regain. It's getting to that point, Twiggy, where it feels like they will need to find an ace of their own at some point between now and the end of the map.
Yeah, it definitely does feel that way. I mean, if they win every single round from here on out, it is technically possible to overtake before the end, but how often do we see 1-3 strung together? Scandir, look, I mean, he's been playing Kaki. There's no ice there, so maybe he's not maybe he's not as accustomed to ice as he once was anymore. And 3 times now he has made a mistake. And this time it was a massive one on that ice section, and Enner moves into first place. Feed in third. Oh, Wosal touches the wall. That may just be an ace, and he has to respawn. He thinks he's not going to make that jump.
Feed is risking.
Oh no, that's not good. It gives HOMYNOTSUN that potential for an ace if Enner doesn't smash into a pole this time around. No, it's Feed hitting a pole this time. Enner will cruise through to first, but it looks like it might just be a draw. How is that all she wrote out of this round?
It was brave from Feed. While it was Wosal who had to go for the full respawn, Feed had a slight touch on the way uphill as well, and so at very, very low speed entering the identity. As a result, it was always going to be difficult to make it through, and ultimately Feed went for the risk, knew that they needed an ace to get back into this map, and it does not pay off. Heartbreaking there, but them's the breaks. That's decision making. I don't think he made the wrong decision. It was just always going to be a difficult execution.
Yeah, and so far HOMYNOTSUN have been less than ideal through the identity. One player making a mistake, or one player hitting a pole, specifically every single time. Now alternate attacks are 4 points ahead, and HOMYNOTSUN do need at some point an ace to bring this one back around. Difficult situation to be in, especially when alternate attacks, at the very least Wosal has kept it clean all the way throughout, if not Scandir as well, to bring this one back. But HOMYNOTSUN on their own are overtaking right now. Unless Wosal can keep with them, it looks like it may just be the first chance for HOMYNOTSUN to take an ace in this round. Wosal moves up into first position, actually, and Feed doesn't have a lot of speed. He's having trouble keeping up. It may just be alternate attacks coming back through, but there's the respawn from Wosal. Can Scandir stay ahead of Feed? It's going to be so close. It's still a round win for HOMYNOTSUN, but it comes down to another 400ths on that one. Alternate attacks do move to track point, but HOMYNOTSUN close the gap a tiny bit.
Man, if Feed had managed to catch up there, we would be nearly tied all the way up. That's such a pivotal round in this map, because alternate attacks, they move to track point. HOMYNOTSUN, an ace would still tie them back up, but they are starting to feel this top 2 slip out of their reach.
Yeah, it's starting to get just a little more difficult, because now they cannot let alternate attacks get an ace. Their safety net is no more. They need to get themselves an ace first off to make it back into there at some point, and then they still need to perform well as well. Feed going with a really, really tight jump there, and it does gain him a tiny bit of time, but not oh no, Enner clips a wheel over the bobsled.
He's going to be a long way back now. Had to full respawn on that one, and Well, an ace, or a draw, I should say, about all they can hope for. An ace for alternate attacks would close this out, would lock them into the top two. And I think Wosal has the pace, looking for any mistakes on this jump. Doesn't look like it. Scandir and Wosal have the speed. And with that round, alternate attacks have locked themselves into top two against HOMYNOTSUN in the upper bracket. They will go for the Trackmania Challenger League playoffs. And Twiggy, the important thing is, we still have a lot of this match left to play.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, the thing is, right, today is technically over. Everyone is locked into their positions now. There is no storyline that can happen. HOMYNOTSUN have got the maps they needed.
Sure. Okay. If HOMYNOTSUN beat alternate attacks don't get first pick against Sprout in the upper bracket match.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. Okay. Yes. If alternate attacks win the series, they get first seed, so they get a map pick. That is what they get. Congratulations, you get first map pick against Sprout on that one. Honestly, worth fighting for at this point. Really worth fighting for from what we've seen. But yeah, this is I mean...
And there would still be a chance as well if HOMYNOTSUN do not win another map. They could still, if they don't win another map from here, they could still be caught by Orcs GP Nualaoch, because they would drop by 2 down to a +5 score, and Orcs GP Nualaoch, if they then went on to sweep BS Plus competition, would tie that map score and would then beat HOMYNOTSUN on the head-to-head.
Right, we've still got storylines.
There's hope. Yeah, like, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel now, and there's a lot of very unlikely things that need to happen. Feed, it's good to start the round.
Usually, yeah. I would
Feed
agree.
hasn't.
I feel like we might get a restart on that one. Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, Anna has given up as well. Okay, yes, probably. All right, then. We get a little more time to talk. Yeah, no. So there are still storylines. Our jobs are still saved. You know, we're not just going to be sitting here as a watch party going, hey, things are happening. You know?
There are some who'd argue that's what we have been doing for the last 6 weeks, Twiggy.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's quite literally my job, but hey,
it's a good time.
At least we've got something to get excited about towards the end of today. Even if it's not something as amazing as HOMYNOTSUN getting 4-0 to get themselves a head-to-head against alternate attacks.
We're going to see Gyroscope in the last match. We can't forget that. That's very important.
We're going to. That is a guarantee.
I've decided. Yeah. Listen.
I think Creedy also said that we can screenshot him if he's incorrect. So
that's true.
Yeah. So there is. Look, we've got that. So we've got some gamba going on. Basically, is what we're saying. Brilliant. Love to see that.
Honestly, mods, I think for our final series, we don't need to worry about a win prediction.
For Gyroscope,
we need, before the match starts, a gamba on whether or not the teams pick Gyroscope. And honestly, it's a great opportunity.
Not on coin flip. That wouldn't count. I don't think that counts.
No, that absolutely doesn't count. Teams need to pick that map. And honestly, maybe we should have poll options. There needs to be, will it be picked in first 4 and guaranteed seen? Will it be picked 5th or 6th? Or will it be a coin flip? Or will it just not be seen at all? You know?
Like that. That's
we need poll options. Really give the chat what they want, which is many options to lose their points.
They can't put channel points on it if it's a poll. So
you can do a poll with channel points, can't you?
Can you? No.
There is there's a channel point option with multiple points.
Here we go. Apparently I am an uncultured Twitcher.
It's true. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but you are absolutely right.
Yeah. This is a shame, honestly. Maybe I should stream some Cup of the Days from feed.
He's just crashed. It's okay.
It's fine. He didn't start last round, and he didn't get past the second checkpoint this round. So hey, you know, art imitates life. Oh my God, feed!
That was pretty wicked. I mean, that's just car goes from forwards to reversing at full speed. I'm pretty sure that happened in like most of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, no, it's like somebody put one of those, you know, the hydraulic things that lift a car up so that they can do a flip, like an action flip. It's one of those. It's one of those moments. Lovely. All they have to do left is throw it out of a helicopter. Or no, sorry, it's a cargo plane, isn't it? That would be beautiful. True. Yeah. When are we? Actually, no. There have been maps like that in Trackmania. I completely forgot. There literally, there have been maps like that. Oh wow, 200 between Enna and Wosal. Let's pay attention a little bit. I mean, again. It's not, you know, like, yes, it was a great round.
Yeah, it would be bad for HOMYNOTSUN not to win a map between here and the end of the series. Yeah. And it would also be a pretty impressive comeback by alternate attacks to drop the first 2 and then win by 4.
We'll get excited when we need to get excited, okay? Don't tell me how to do my job. No, of course. I'm kidding. Don't laugh like that.
Yeah, production in the background now trying to give instructions to Twiggy about when to get excited.
Oh, God,
honestly,
no. I've had moments. So we were talking about this once upon a time, and we will get back to the game very shortly. I just want to mention this. We had. I think we've both had moments once upon a time where production have forgotten that their mic's alive and just have talked over us a whole, like, for me it was a whole intro while it was about 6 minutes of an intro on a broadcast. You said you had one of those as well.
I at least knew someone who had one working an event in person. I've had similar moments, but the worst one I've ever heard about was when production talked the entire way through about a 30-minute broadcast, just loudly. Yeah,
that's terrible. No, because mine was specifically like, it wasn't a mic that was right in front of them. It was the whole room we could hear. It was the production channel at a live event left their mics on the caster feed. Man, that sucks. And that's a full slide out as well. That's rough for a scan there. And yeah, it sounded could catch up. Oh man, Anna goes down. He can't make that final jump. He has to full respawn. It's probably going to be. Oh no. Okay, Anna, wait. Where's Scandir? Can it be? Yes, okay. Not a round win. Alternate attacks stay 3 points ahead.
They stay 3 points ahead, and yeah, they move up to 4-1 on this one. It's not quite the classic 5-1 round. Enner will eventually get across the line. He'll get across the line better next time. Don't worry about it.
You say that. Don't. That's putting pressure on the poor man. No, don't do that.
That's true. Yeah. It's I think I'd make a great Trackmania coach. I'd tell them to drive faster.
Just do better. Overtake.
Just do better. Get across the line before the opponents do next time.
You don't even have to avoid the car to overtake them. It should be easy.
Honestly, again, like going back to the production discussion, if they would just tell me when to get excited at all times... Just like yeah, feed is going to overtake now, so if you could say feed is going to overtake, that's true.
Who cares about this? Yeah, no. To be fair though, we have had one of the most exciting days of Trackmania that has pretty much ever happened. Yesterday, I think, takes a cake, obviously, with Sprout's reverse sweep against HOMYNOTSUN, but today has been very good as well. I'm not going to lie to you.
Exactly. We got a reverse sweep again today with Exalti reverse sweeping or GP Nualaoch. And like both of those results combined to make today's exciting as it was. Because if Sprout don't reverse sweep yesterday, like we're obviously this match now. Yeah, he could equalize off right here. I mean, it's unlikely.
And you've got to get this one down. Oh, Wosol comes out of nowhere. It is an ace. Very nicely done from HOMYNOTSUN. Good times for both of them.
Yeah. Look, I'm not getting excited just because you shouted at me, production. But also, if HOMYNOTSUN don't get reverse swept yesterday by Sprout, like this match looks very different at this point.
Exactly, yeah.
And with that said as well, you know, if alternate attacks don't beat Exalti, despite Exalti being on a charge, that Exalti match looks very different, and that again would have looked very different today. And it is, look, that's how leagues work. Is every match matters come the end.
Results change the league table, wow.
But in a super week like this as well, it does very much come down to these results. And it's very easy to pinpoint moments and matches that have had a huge impact on how things play out in our last couple.
Yeah, we've said it's looking like crunch time is going to be those last couple game days. Since the beginning, we had no idea how crunch time it would be, how important every single matchup would be. And somehow we've reached the point of the day where this is barely important compared to the other ones that we've had. And still, there is stuff on the line here as HOMYNOTSUN stay very, very close, or alternate attacks stay very, very close to HOMYNOTSUN. It is going to come down to how cleanly you get through these bug slides here. Feed takes a very outside line, trying to get an inside line on the second jump, but it's all going to come down to hundreds over towards the final turn. Scandir overtakes, he gets first place. Oh, and it goes into the wall. Wosol takes third place, and HOMYNOTSUN lose the round.
HOMYNOTSUN are absolutely the team near the top of the table who are most likely to end up in the signs to the left of that finish.
Yes, definitely.
Because they risk it all on that last jump. And like genuinely, it works out for them a lot of the time, but they're willing to risk it more than pretty much any other team are. And I'm looking forward to seeing that from them in the playoffs as well. I mean, I get the feeling we'll see slippy slides at some point in a lot of those matches. And I think HOMYNOTSUN are, you know, they're going to be exciting on slippy slides as a result.
Yeah, although it is a tough blow. We've been saying it for... I don't think we've really mentioned enough how big getting into the top two is. Although, you know, obviously they are set in stone now. It's going to be, no matter which way round it is, it's going to be alternate attacks and Sprout. You know, you skip out on two potential games. You know, there is no other way into the upper bracket final. You're immediately in the lower bracket if you're anywhere from 3rd to 6th place in the league, and you have to play two more series to even get to the point. Skandir, he goes a little too risky on that jump.
Yeah, he'll be a little bit wild on that one for the moment, but it does mean Wosile is holding off Feed and Enner, and Wosile will not pay a visit to his favourite pit on the map. He will manage to stay out in front for the time being, as Feed is trying to chase him down, and on this last jump, keep an eye to see if Feed does try to cut inside. He starts very wide on the turn, and he will crash on out a little bit with a touch slowing him down. And there you have it again. It's slightly different risky lines that Enner and Feed do like to take. Enner ends up on the outside a lot of the time. Feed, he's clipped that inside a couple of times in important rounds. But they do both love to risk that last jump.
Yeah, it's a very good time as well, 1:11.4. It's not, you know, amazing. It's not right up there with, but it's half a second away from the world record at the moment, and a little bit closer to the Challenger League record as well. So it's a very good way to assert your dominance, as it were, here on this map. But I don't think there's any dominance going on between either of these teams. It is really neck and neck, and it has been throughout the whole series.
If this series had happened in like week 4 or week 5,
it would have been
this
insane.
would have had the potential to be such an exciting series and such an important one. As it is, it's still a really exciting series. This is still very, very close between the two teams. Alternate Attacks are currently looking to tie it up, sitting on track point on track 4 as well. It's just unfortunate that as things stand, it really will not mean much for the standings, unless of course HOMYNOTSUN do not win a track from here on out. You know, they can,
and then there is a possibility.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's
an upset,
a long-range possibility.
Yeah, a long shot.
But
well, it looks like it's going to be over. Again, a low-energy end to the map, because it was all over within the first kind of 30 seconds of it. But there we go. It is an ace for Alternate Attacks to bring that one home, and we are at 2-2.
Yeah, it's sitting there at 2-2 at the moment, and we'll head to map 5, guaranteed at least a 6 in the series. And Twiggy, we could head to map 7 for the second time today as well. We've gotten an awful lot of tracks in our first 2 matches. We nearly got back on schedule with our 3rd match, and here we are, looking like we're about to fall further behind again.
It does seem that way. We're going to be here for a long time. We signed up for it, you know, obviously five games today. It's quite a lot of games. We are getting through it one way or another. And the thing is, right, with 2 incredibly exciting games to start off with, things are, you know, stamina is running low. I'm not gonna lie. Things are getting difficult out here. But luckily, you know, we haven't got, you know, tiebreakers and stuff to go through on this one, because otherwise we would be screaming our lungs out. I wouldn't have a voice by now. We're going to move to Flip of Faith. Actually, honestly, this is my favourite map in the pool. I'm not going to lie to you. This is my favourite map in the pool. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Flip of Faith because it is the identity with the most risk-reward available well.
I think that's the thing.
And it, as such, has the potential for big-time gains, not really based off mistakes, as is so often the case in other identities, purely based off your willingness to accept risk going in.
Yeah, this first jump can gain you about 6/10. Speed doesn't quite make it. If you do it perfectly and everybody else kind of relatively safes it, and that final jump can gain you almost a second. Well, combined they can get you about 1.2, 1.3 seconds, which is absolutely wild amounts of time. But this time, Feed doesn't quite make the first jump, and Wosile and Skandir are looking to take an early lead here. Can Enner keep it clean? Can they force a draw out of this one? That would be absolutely massive, but you never know what is going to happen in these final 2 jumps as Enner approaches it first. Seems like he's taking a little bit of a lower line, and he knows he's not going to make it, but neither does Skandir. Wosile is the only player to get cleanly through the whole map. Enner, with lower speed, manages to get over there, but Wosile will cruise home to that 1:04.8. Enner respawns again. Skandir is going to take second place. It's an ace to start things off for Alternate Attacks.
Yep, it's an ace, is I think literally all that I can say about that one as well. Feed, look, he's just doing a little bit of practice. He's pulling a Link, right? He's practicing the last jump a couple of times.
Hey, and it worked out for Link, I'm not going to lie. That was
true.
One hell of a way to end out a map. But yeah, that's a good start for Alternate Attacks. It seems like they have gained back that momentum. And again, this is the same thing we saw, although not in the same circumstances, as with Sprout versus HOMYNOTSUN. Is that HOMYNOTSUN, they started off real strong. They got things going, and as soon as they kind of lost a bit of momentum, as soon as Alternate Attacks managed to take a good few rounds away from them, HOMYNOTSUN kind of went, oh, we can't do it.
Yep.
And then lost out completely.
Yeah, I mean, hey, motivation with no chance at the top 2 on the line. You can understand
this is
how it'd be
even less motivation to want to do this one.
Exactly. But with that said, motivate yourself to protect your
jump,
spot.
by the way, from Wosal.
Yeah, it was really good, or whatever, I guess. Like, I mean,
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
We'll see. I'll get excited if he gets a world record at the end of the round. Okay, deal.
Exactly. That's all we care about over here. Oh, to be fair, the bar
he's on pace.
The bar's pretty high in terms of records as we move forward. Wosal, he's safe that
on
one.
Pace.
Yeah, he's not on pace anymore. Feed catches up, and Feed gets a beautiful final jump. That practice paid off, and Enna actually gets overtaking him. HOMYNOTSUN bring it back to 3-3. Wosal started off so well, but I think he thought he gained so much of a lead that he could safe those final jumps, and it did not work out. Yeah,
and then, exactly, safes the first jump, and then all of a sudden sees 2 more cars beside him and panics for the second one. And over-risked it a little bit there. He absolutely was on world record pace there, with a better, identity. But, you know, that's any time you're on a Grand League. Yeah, you're on a World Tour map, and you're like, I'm on world record pace, I just have to get through the identity, and it's like, yeah, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Feeder seems to have been burned by that first round and goes incredibly safe, losing him over a second from the rest of the field here. Skandir and Wosal well out ahead at this point. Enna needs to try and catch up. I mean, HOMYNOTSUN's flips have been better at the end at the very least, so there is not a zero-sum chance of them getting that done. But it's looking likely that Skandir and Wosal take another ace here unless there are big mistakes happening. Feed has made up some of that time. Can he get a good jump to compound that effort that he's put in? He goes very safe on that one, very high. Skandir and Wosal stay in first and second. Enna flips his car over. Skandir, I don't know where he's gone. He hasn't made it, and Enna will make it through to the finish. But Skandir does come third.
Yeah, this is one of the matches.
That's a double flip of faith right there.
Exactly. This is definitely one of the flip of faiths that we've ever seen played.
Pro skater. Look at him go.
One of these teams is going to be on match point after this map, you know? But at the moment, neither of them is seizing it. You do know skateboarding. I knew it.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Okay. How are you going to make fun of me of knowing about skateboarding? That's not even. That's just like.
No, I've actually never even heard of it.
It's like the most basic term.
I've never even. What's a skateboard?
What is a skateboard? What is a skateboard?
In many ways, that's actually kind of a good question. You know, like a longboard. Is it a skateboard?
Okay, here's the question. Is a Trackmania car a skateboard?
It has
all the
4
same
wheels.
Characteristics. Yeah.
There's people standing on top of both of them.
There are skateboards with engines. They may be electric engines, but... actually, wait, no, these are electric cars.
Are they?
So, well, I would assume so. They're very high-tech.
That's true. I mean, it doesn't sound like an electric car to me.
Okay, but you can put sound modules in an electric... I don't know. Anyway, either way, it really does not matter. This is absolutely one of the closest rounds we've seen so far. Skandir makes a mistake. He goes a little too low. Wosal has also fallen out of favor with the map, and here comes through HOMYNOTSUN. There we go. It's another ace for them.
It's going to be another ace. It was one of the closest rounds we'd had so far, right up until that first jump. The identity will separate the wheat from the chaff, send HOMYNOTSUN up to 7 points.
We are essaying a little bit, I will give you that. I will give you that.
Accurate.
Come on, look, it's coming towards the end of the day.
It's coming towards the end of the regular season, alright? There's a lot of things that there's a lot of just absolute waffle.
Some fun.
There was a lot of waffle that I didn't get out during the rest of the regular season, and I just need to get it on camera now.
Exactly. Yeah, we got to make up for. To be fair, yesterday there was no waffle from us because it was just constant wall-to-wall energy. Yeah, exactly. So we gotta get a little bit in. Come on, guys. All right, it's all good. It's all good. You got to calm down just a bit. We're casting the exciting moments with excitement. That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's when production reminds us to be excited.
Yeah, they scream at us. I haven't heard a word from them in the past half an hour, so you know.
Yeah, that's true. Storm Warrior, quick check. You still there? Type 1 in chat.
Still awake? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah.
Wosal and Skandir, they're holding hands right now. Can they keep it clean once again, or will Enna and Feed catch up with their identity here? I mean, this is going to be... Can they do it again? Enna takes much lower of a line, so much more speed. He overtakes one. Skandir is now only holding on to first place by a thread. Oh. He manages to get it done in the end, but Enna does overtake one and gets his team slightly closer. Feed? Oh, he's still here. It's all good.
There's been some pretty good times so far in this match as well. A 104.4 in that round too. I mean, the players, they're still throwing it out. I think, again, we saw a new Challenger League record at some point today for this map. But before that, that would have been a Challenger League record on this map.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
they're still driving really, really well.
They really are. And, well, it's down to this round once again. An 8-7 round is always incredibly exciting. One team just needs a round win. The other team needs an ace. A draw just makes things even more intense. But this time, Skandir and Wosal, they may just be on track for that ace. I say that. They've been in a 1-2 position so many times here on Flip of Faith. And one of Feed or Enna has been able to catch up and overtake at least one of them in the identity. Can they do it again? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm tempting fate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Wosal is going to get a little bit of airtime, but Skandir caught an awful lot of penalty grass. Feed makes him feel better by doing it on the other side of the track as well. Into the first jump we go. Wosal and Skandir lead from Enner and Feed, and it will be a full crash out from Enner. Feed as well gone. Skandir also gone. Wosal will be alone in his run to first place. Feed is there in second. This one is not over
Here we
yet.
go again. 9-9.
And we are tied at 9-9. Overtime looms on the horizon.
Enna really loves to flip his car over there. We're going to a 9-9 once again. Here we go. Oh, we just don't get a break. We really don't. Every game comes down to the wire. It seems like here in the last week, every team, unsurprisingly, fighting for their lives. Even though, oh, here we go again.
Well,
all good. Little pause. We got to keep the tension going, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The tension in this map that is very... I mean, there is a little bit of tension. If HOMYNOTSUN win here, they have secured their place. 100%. They cannot be overtaken for third place by Orcs GP Nualaoch. So, there's tension in this round. It exists, I swear. I don't have to reach too far to find it.
Yes, no, there definitely is tension going on, and especially, you know, look, the likelihood of HOMYNOTSUN losing their place is quite low.
Yeah.
You know, it would require a 4-0, but
it's not 0.
Still, it is there. Yes, you want to get it done. You don't want to leave stuff to other people's hands. We've learned that now from Exalti, who unfortunately had to watch themselves lose their playoffs position, not through any fault of their own, through the other team.
Apart from the 5 matches that they lost in other weeks.
Okay. Well, you know, you don't have to. Let's just ignore that. But still, it was not on their game that they lost.
Yeah. On the final day, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, Exalti again. I'm disappointed not to be able to see them in playoffs. I would have enjoyed seeing that. But as it is, you do have to win more matches to get there. That's how it works. Yeah, it's just true. My analysis, it is absolutely top tier, and I'm going to analyze to you right now that Wosal and Skandir are in first and second right now.
Brilliant analysis.
Thank you.
Very much back to me in the studio. As Enna is 7/10 behind, but he's made up that time before on the identity. Can they get it done right now? Wosal and Skandir, they're holding hands right now, but they have made a lot of mistakes on this identity. Can they keep it clean? Feed goes very risky. It's too risky. His nose bumps straight into that one. It's a big sniffer. Skandir just gets through, and that is it.
Well,
Skandir manages
Wosal crashed.
Well, okay, but no, there he is. Okay.
He's okay. He respawned.
Don't ruin my moment. Well, it's an ace from alternate attacks. They get to 3 maps. Oh, and Enna and Feed are having a mare of a time here. HOMYNOTSUN, well, I mean, they need to get this next one done then. There it is.
Keeping the stakes alive for the final match of the night, and potentially denying us a chance at Gyroscope, because if there is going to be stakes on that match, then we may not get Gyroscope.
Yes, that's a good point. Look, so basically for everything, we want HOMYNOTSUN to be winning this next map. We just, look, alternate attacks fans, I'm sorry, but you've really got to respect the storylines here. You do have to respect the storylines. I think, you know, as any big team fan, you've got to respect that if there wasn't competition, then it would be boring, you know?
It's true.
Looking at you at the silver, now black car in a certain sport.
That's what,
who are
rallying?
very unhappy now that there is competition.
Yeah. Also, I want to say the one thing that we have learned in this Super Week is that there is competition at the top end of the Challenger League. While, you know, results by the end of today may have been not a foregone conclusion, but we're pretty much all locked in. I love that camera angle.
I love that camera. That was beautiful. That was
awesome.
So far.
Yeah. The one thing that we have learned is, you know, I think we were getting worried. I was getting worried at the very least that Sprout were starting to run away, that with Dexter waking up over the course of 7 weeks, they were going to be unstoppable. But HOMYNOTSUN made them work for it. And alternate attacks, here they are beating out HOMYNOTSUN as well. And if that is going to be the case, I mean, these playoffs are going to be an absolute treat.
Look, yeah, it's splitting them into the top 2 versus the other 4, right? But we have 3 really amazing teams who really can contend with each other. As we've seen, alternate attacks, HOMYNOTSUN and Sprout are all right up there neck and neck with each other. No matter what the scoreline says at the end, no matter who ends up in 3rd, they are all incredibly talented teams who can all beat each other depending on the day.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, playoffs as a result is going to be very, very fun. I mean, I genuinely cannot wait for that to start. Things do kick off next weekend for the Challenger League playoffs. We will have both lower bracket matches and the upper bracket match, and then finish things off the following week for that one. So as usual, make sure you're around. I believe Grand League playoffs probably also kicking off next week as well, but I have not paid as much attention to the dates for those. And it just makes sense that they'd start next week as well.
This is so close. It's a 1v1 in 2 parts of the map. Feed, however, gets a little more speed than Wosile. Scandir overtakes that position, and it all comes down to a 1/4 of a second in the end. Unbelievable stuff. Once again, they are at each other's throats, and Feed is the one to take the round win for the team. But wow.
And this does...
If that's anything to go by, this is going to be a very fun map as well.
I mean, and this does feel very much like it could be a preview of our lower bracket finals going into the grand finals for the Challenger League as well. And if it's half as close then as it is now, with everything on the line, it's going to get real spicy.
I think no matter what, the lower bracket finals are going to be absolutely amazing. The lower bracket finals and the grand finals should both be absolutely incredible. I was worried when we started that we'd have a runaway team, as you do in so many leagues, and, you know, somebody would stomp everybody and then it just wouldn't be any fun for the viewers. But this is absolutely brilliant. No matter what happens, we're going to have bangers of matches over and over and over again, as we have seen so many times. The Challengers League has been an absolute joy to watch. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks that. Alternate attacks now in an ace position, looking to throw it back in HOMYNOTSUN's face.
Yeah, looking to regain the lead here very, very quickly. And again, you know, keep the stakes alive for the final match. Keep Orcs, GPs, Nualaoch's hopes alive in that final match as well, as they would still need to sweep BS Plus competition. BS Plus competition, who have been a little bit more threatening than maybe their standings imply at the moment. So that one is not going to be free at all to round the night out for Orcs.
Speed.
There's
so much speed. He's catching up with Wosile. He might even catch up with Scandir. He'll definitely catch up with Scandir if he falls off the track. And there it is. It's brilliant speed from Enna to overtake Wosile and snipe him by 11,000. Feed follows by only 1/10. Scandir brings up the rear, but it's HOMYNOTSUN with another round win, and it's another beautiful round.
That's such a good round again. HOMYNOTSUN are looking great on Agility Dash at the moment, and it is partly off the back of a mistake from Scandir, but it is also just off an incredible run through the identity coming through from Enner too. And again, props to Enner, where we have talked about Feed a lot in previous weeks. Enner is absolutely having a fantastic performance tonight, and I'm excited. You love to see it. Again, you love to see everyone peaking as we head towards the playoffs. It is the right time to do it, and seeing it happen, it's fun.
Yeah, statistically we started out, oh my, that's some interesting jumps going on. Enna gets a worse deal there than Scandir, although they both touch their back right wheel to the bump there. But yeah, no, look, at the start of the series we had some statistics up, and over the first 3 or 4 weeks, Enna was consistently outperformed by Feed. Consistently. Feed was a more risky player, Enna was a more safe player, and Enna, although having very small amount of mistakes on maps, was a lot slower than his teammate. That is not the case anymore, not whatsoever. They are both contending for top times.
Yeah, they really are pushing, and it has taken this team to the next level, and that comes off the back of hard work off camera, putting in the hours, grinding week on week to make sure that you can compete at the top level on these maps. And I mean, hey, it maybe feels a little bit unfair to be doing this to Enner on a round where he is 5 seconds behind and saying how great he's been doing, but that's just the breaks. And Feed will get an overtake as Nualaoch gets the slowdown through the middle of this identity, and Feed will cross the line at 128.9, a strong time to finish out that round as well. And a draw leaves HOMYNOTSUN still 2 points up.
Again, that almost would have been a Challenger League record if it hadn't been smashed by Dexter earlier on. So, well, I mean, that is, as it stands, about 5/10 away from the Challenger League record, and 5/10 away as it stands from the world record, or the live world record as well. It's another very nice time. And HOMYNOTSUN doing very well to stay ahead on this one. Whether it's Feed or Enner, they're both putting together very good times to keep each other in the game.
They are pulling each other's weight when necessary to do so, and that is what we see the most from teams at the top. We do see still mistakes from a lot of the teams at the top as well. Just the smallest of touches on that jump, as Nualaoch has an entanglement with a wall.
Indeed, an unfortunate one as well. Skandir now in first place is going to have to do what Feed and Enner have been doing for each other, for his own teammate, but Feed and Enner are right on his tail, and Feed gets so much speed from that little slide there. He's going to go into the next turn with a little less, but he does maintain first position, which is a very nice overtake to have. Enner has fallen down by 5/10. Oh my lord, that was very close to the pole, but the pack's tightening back up.
Pack will start to close back up on this one. We have a front two of Skandir and Feed, but Feed will pull away from Skandir with better acceleration away from that turn. A little bit awkward over the final jump though. Let Skandir close right back up and even overtake Feed and Enner. Sit second and third. Feed really sloppy exit from those previous jumps. He is now dropping all the way back into fourth, never quite recovering any of that lost speed. Skandir looking to just take first place. Enner will come home in second. 129 near flat for Skandir. Is strong at the top, and alternate attacks will catch back up to tie the game.
Yeah, entering that identity with too much speed or too little speed is going to result in a bad time for you. Too much speed, we've seen so many players not be able to turn their car enough, or have to turn their car a lot on the plastic, which usually loses you more time than if you entered it slower. And obviously Feed there with so little speed moving into it, he just gets overtaken outright. Oh my god, every time players careen towards that lamppost, I feel like somebody is going to hit it.
Yep.
And they never do.
And that's the thing. They do very occasionally, but it also never seems as bad as it should be, given how close they do get to that one particular lamppost.
Yeah, well, Enner and Feed now in first and second position. It's been a little while since they found themselves with such a good opportunity to get some points back on alternate attacks, extend their lead from 6 up to 9, but an overtake does happen there, and Nualaoch is back up ahead of Enner. It's all once again going to come down to the identity, where alternate attacks have looked slower and a little sloppier as well. Oh, that's an interesting play. Was that a no slide that happened, or
must have been? He went face first
into
a wall.
I
was like, it's not a part of a track where I feel I have to pay a lot of attention necessarily, because it's such a rare mistake that a mistake happens there.
Very unfortunate, but I guess that happens from time to time. Feed with pretty much identical speed to Nualaoch. They'll trade back first and second places. Oh, but Feed clips a wheel, and he does fall back a little further, unless Nualaoch makes a massive mistake towards the end, which he does not. It is going to tie up the scores 7-all.
Yep, Skandir's no slide, not as bad as Enner's one was. He will manage to regain and still hold on to a third place for that one. And this is now the tie between these two teams, both of them sitting on track point. This is match point as well for alternate attacks, looking to keep things possible for GP Nualaoch in that race for third place. And that would be a pretty big swing overall, of course, as third place does play sixth place going into the playoffs. That will be BS Plus competition versus third place. And it is Fine Aim Racing waiting for whoever drops into fourth. So it's not necessarily a massive swing, but it is worth noting.
I mean, yeah, in a way, it is technically in alternate attacks' best interest to make sure that one of their stronger opponents comes up against a stronger opponent in their first matchup. It lowers their likelihood, even though it's a very small lowering of the likelihood that they do come up against them later on in the playoffs. So, yeah, it is technically in their best interest to get this done right here, right now, and give give the chance away for HOMYNOTSUN to drop further back in the standings and make their first matchup a little bit harder, although we've already established that HOMYNOTSUN can probably beat whoever they come up against in that first matchup, so it shouldn't matter too much. But hey, in the end, if you want to come first, you've got to beat everybody.
Yeah, you do ultimately have to make your way through the entire field if you want to get to the very top, but it's a tall mountain to climb, and they have a little bit of time left to prepare for that one as well. They have a little bit of time left in this match as well, as Wosile is in front of Feed at the moment, is in front of Scandir. Enner has once again dropped behind 2 rounds in a row that a mistake has cost Enner. Wosile is still managing to hold off. Feed has a little bit more speed, but he's run out of track. And 128.845 from Wosile is very, very quick. And it was necessary to hold off Feed on that round.
It really was. Really, really was. It was a good time, good round. But we moved to 8-8, and now a round win means that a team will get through on this one. HOMYNOTSUN feeling the pressure at this point. Again, not the end of the world if they lose right here, right now, but they definitely want to get it done and secure their own position as much as they can. So it's going to be right here, right now. Unless it's a draw, we're going to see a conclusion.
Yep. This should be it. This should be the end. This could be alternate attacks locking in first seed for the Trackmania Challenger League regular season with a round win. On the other hand, HOMYNOTSUN, they could bring us to a map 7 and they could guarantee that they will sit in 3rd place and potentially still deny alternate attacks that first place as well. That is what is riding on one round, on a minute and a half of Trackmania here on Agility Dash.
And it's already fallen back by about half a second. It's not insurmountable towards the end of the map, but it's definitely going to make a difference in a round that is as close as this and is as high stakes as this. As Scandir and Wosile scream into the lead now. Can Feed catch back up? Will one of them make a mistake towards the end? They seem to have cleaned up their act here on Agility Dash. I haven't seen one of them make a significant mistake on the identity for a few rounds now. I'm sorry if that curses you, but I'm not sorry either. So Feed does move up. Oh no, I think that was a clip there, and he moves further back down into 3rd position, and his teammate is going to overtake now as they move towards the identity. It is going to have to take something pretty special from alternate attacks to give away this round to HOMYNOTSUN, and it looks like they're keeping it clean for the time being, holding hands through the identity. It seems like a victory lap, only one jump to go, and they cross the line within a 10th of each other, taking that map, taking the series 4-2, and there is a possibility that HOMYNOTSUN do not get 3rd seed.
It's a possibility. It may seem remote, but chat, I want to see an awful lot of cats sitting very comfortably with their friends around a campfire, because yes, alternate attacks, they are hand in hand, so close together, beautifully, just so friendly, into a 1st place in the regular season. Congratulations to them. It was which way am I going? This way. Here you go. Yeah. Oh god, my hand! It's in the void. Oh no, the void! Oh, it's eating my hand.
Actually, no. It's just you holding up your floating mic at that point.
Oh, that's exactly. I'm holding it up. That is going to be it for alternate attacks and HOMYNOTSUN in the regular season. But the final position's not yet 100% confirmed. There is still a little bit of wriggle room left for this one. It all comes down towards GP Nualaoch versus BS Plus competition. Their 2nd match of the night for both of them. A 4-0 for GP Nualaoch does lock them into 3rd place, but it's going to be a tall task against the strong BS Plus competition. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you very soon.